Why is gold dumping right now? We are in the middle of a war, so whatever happened to the safe haven trade? Well, the answer is 50% manipulation and 50% gold is doing exactly what it's meant to do. My name's Nick. I've been a professional investor and unprofessional trader for 24 years. Today, we need to talk about why gold is crashing despite the safe haven trade and uncover what is really happening behind the scenes. Let's figure this out together. But before I start, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not an inducement to buy or sell any assets. Do not take financial advice from some random dude on YouTube. Let's get into it. So on Twitter, everyone seems very confused by gold's movements. They're coming up with these absurd theories to explain something that is perfectly normal if you just look at the data. So let's talk about exactly why gold is dumping. And this really comes down to market manipulation. Wars almost always lead to retail panic trading. And when retail is panicking, the vultures come out. So before I break down gold, here's one trick to help you navigate the markets during this war. Just one tip. Be skeptical. Almost everything you hear is going to be media lies or just clueless influencers saying whatever sounds good to get clicks, right? Even me, by the way, technically I am an influencer. I hate that term, but technically I'm a guy on YouTube, so I'm an influencer, right? Believe none of what I say and verify everything. And that's the rule you should have with any YouTuber. If someone says, buy oil, it'll pump, look at what oil did in the last 5 or 6 wars and make a decision based on that. I made a video on this earlier, by the way. If they say go all in on gold because it's a safe haven trade, well, let's talk about that right now. So we're going to start with the manipulators, like allegedly JP Morgan, allegedly. We're going to start with what they want you to believe. And it goes something like this. Gold is a safe haven trade. Buy it right now because a war has started and it will pump for sure. Then you go all in at like 5,400, they rug you and it dumps to $5,000 like it has over the last few days, right? So now your money is their money. Congratulations. Fun fact, JP Morgan, by the way, was fined $920 million for manipulating precious metal markets a few years ago. So, they do this, right? It's not even allegedly, they just do it. Now, let's look at the actual truth. So if we do an analysis of every recent major Middle Eastern conflict, it shows that gold usually dumps in the first few days through to the first week of the conflict. Then after that, it starts trending up. So the truth is right there in the data. So the question is, what really happens to gold? And I'll answer that. It generally pumps before the war, often weeks before the first bombs even drop. Why? Because smart money already knows the war's coming. Then once the actual war starts and retail floods in, gold gives back a bunch of those gains. It dumps. The spike essentially gets sold. And then once the dust settles and emotional trading dies down, it resumes its trend higher like a normal safe haven asset. And this is not immediate, by the way. It's over a few months that it does this. That is on average how gold moves during a war. And obviously, it's just an average. It can still crash right now. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So why is gold crashing right now? It's just doing what it does on average. The institutional vultures are having a field day right now, picking at retail corpses, allegedly. That being said, this drop we've seen right now is much bigger than the average drop. But that just comes down to another rule of trading, volatility. Normally, gold and silver are fairly boring assets, but right now, the world has turned its attention to precious metals. Countries like China and the US are fighting over precious metals. Everyone wants hard assets because the US dollar is constantly being debased and people want something real, right? And manipulators have now moved into the precious metal markets more so than ever. I mean, there were always manipulators like COMEX and JP Morgan, but now Jane Street, one of the world's worst manipulators, allegedly, has joined the game, especially with the silver markets. Gold and silver are now much more volatile than they were in the past. So if you get these violent rallies up, you're going to get violent dumps. Me personally, my rules are the same as they've always been. I don't use leverage. I don't buy paper versions of hard assets. It kind of defeats the purpose, right? And I do not care about these short-term swings. The only way you beat market manipulators is by ignoring them. I'll see you in the next one.